Against the left man.
नाम तो दिया उनको भी बना दिया है, दो तीन लोग बना दिया है। हेलोजन लाइट समझा गया।
Sir, on your left hand.
यार पीछे
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, in exactly 30 seconds, my friends who are at the back of the room, we're going to put all the lights off. Ladies and gentlemen, put all the lights down. We would like you to pay attention to what
On your left side. On your left, please.
as close as you can. The student crowd is thank you very much.
Happy, have a great
30 seconds, we're going to put all the lights down. The power of
Excuse, on your left, please, both of you. Once again. So on your left, so on your left. Yeah, look here. Thank you.
Colleagues, excellencies, and very, very dear friends, both from Turkey and India. Welcome to the Turkish National Day. I will try to keep my speech short, but that will be a challenge, because common Turkish cause. Today we see Turkey and India to be pretty much on the same boat. Turkey is determined to move along the path it has chosen, which is democracy and economic prosperity in a political region with its own challenges. India is determined to seal its stamp on world affairs despite many social and economic challenges it's facing still. Democracy, secularism, and economic reforms are what bring these countries together. The recently increased traffic of the high-level visits between the two countries is not a coincidence. President Mukherjee paid an official visit to Turkey only in the beginning of this very month. This was the first presidential visit from India to Turkey in 15 years. Economic and business delegations move back and forth constantly, making up the daily work of our countries' respective diplomatic missions. The trade volume is today $7 billion US dollars, more than tenfold of what it was 10 years ago. Last but not least, Turkey is moving towards being the unbeatable destination of choice by Indian tourists. Indians have been discovering Turkey recently and discovering it very fast. Being a Turkish diplomat in India is very rewarding, not only in a metaphorical sense, but also in a very real sense. In every travel and tourism award ceremony, I have an award to collect very proudly on behalf of my country. Thank you.
I'm really not going to say, I do know that Turkey is on my hit list of being the next place that I have to absolutely visit and write about. But the lady who always gets there 10 steps ahead of me, I'm going to shut up and let Shobha speak.
Years, and we'll be there 100 years coming up in 10 years, and I have a feeling you'll be back for that, even if you're not the Consul General. Because what has developed between Jenan and as the ambassador. Because what has developed between Jalan, the relationship that has been built in such a short time, not just an awareness and a love for a destination called terrific Turkey, as I like to define it, but also as Minister Sir, you mentioned her dynamism. She has captured the hearts of the city of Mumbai in ways that I cannot recall any other Consul General, A, being as spectacularly beautiful as her, and also as aware of her responsibilities as Consul General. It's not just about sending tourists to Turkey, it goes well beyond that. She did refer to our historic ties, which are indeed go back centuries. It's a destination that's a confluence of cultures and continents, and a destination that I personally found so intriguing. I've been back twice and I feel I know nothing, or I'd like to know much more about Turkey on my third visit, and the fourth and the fifth, because of the Ottoman Empire, the history, the richness of what it contributed to the world, its place in global politics centuries ago, before we even understood what global politics meant. So these ties, which are not just cultural, but I would like to say are emotional today, and of course economic. Jailan mentioned that the tourism and the tourist traffic has gone up substantially from India, and making it the fifth Istanbul being the fifth most visited destination in the world. I would say with the number of honeymooners from India who are going to flock to Istanbul, they might soon become number one. Because Istanbul somehow has positioned itself in the imagination of young Indians and older Indians, and having visited it just quite recently myself, I can tell you that there is magic in the air, but more than magic, there's much more. There's not just great food, there are not just great hotels, there's not just history, it goes beyond Topkapi, it goes beyond the mosques, it goes beyond the churches, it goes beyond the vibrant culture of the streets, it goes beyond the markets, it's the people. At the end of the day, a destination is about people. And the people are welcoming, they understand Indians, we understand them, they always greet you with great amount of warmth, and no matter what a destination may offer in terms of infrastructure, which they have, it is really when you're greeted by strangers and welcomed into their homes, even if they don't know you. If you're sitting at a restaurant and someone offers to share a fish dish that you may be eyeing on the next table and say, why don't you try it? To me, that's what makes a destination. It's the human contact. And I think Jailan and Enda, they've both done such a wonderful job of making terrific Turkey come alive for those of us who haven't been, and certainly even more alive for those of us who have been lucky to have visited Turkey. And when we talked, and Minister Sir, you talked about our affinities which go beyond just the beauty of our destinations, just beyond our complex culture, beyond any of those complexities and even the contradictions. It's really the principles of democracy and secularism that you mentioned, and of course our old ties which value both these more above all else, and freedom. So here's to Turkey, here's to Jailan, here's to Enda, here's to future ties that can only be strengthened, and let's hope we enjoy each other's cultures and countries and communities, and let's hope these ties go beyond just commerce, and develop into a long-standing love affair which has existed for centuries and can only get better with time. Thank you very much, and thank you Jalan for a magazine, thank you Minister Ji, and thank you all for asking me to speak about a destination I passionately adore and love. Thank you.
Thank you, Shobha. I don't know how you do it. That wonderful speech, extempore. Effortlessly. That's Shobha.